So if you're a social butterfly and or have some hobbies or interests that you feel really strongly about, the social totem school of thought is something that's probably going to be up your alley. Social totem. So previous video that you could have watched here, we talked about a satellite. Here's another one of Connor's cute little images from his visual brain. But imagine a totem pole with a bunch of faces, 8 faces. Every face is the equivalent of a type of involvement or organization you could be a part of. So the question we're going to ask here is, how filled out is your totem pole? How many faces are on it? AKA, how heavily involved are you in your community? Involvements are one of the best things to do for lead gen. You're doing something you have an interest in, dare I say something you love, and you're doing it with a group of like-minded people. So like we've been doing, it's time to take stock and recognize, where do you currently stand? What is your level of engagement, involvement in your community right now? The best way to start thinking about this is to look at each one of these 8 faces and, again, give a name to the type of face you could carve into your respective social totem. So, totem face 1. This could be a professional group. So think, young professionals. Think your local chamber. Think organizations dedicated to some professional networking. Now, if it hasn't become clear, it is okay to realize and accept that there's going to be some overlap with these schools of thought. This very well could be where you'd put a referral group, your professional network satellite. Right? You technically could say, yeah, that's a professional group. We're talking about work. We're making connections in a professional sense. Absolutely some overlap here, and that's okay. Category 2, totem face 2. This one's kind of different, but I like it. A home base hangout. Do you have a place where you're known as a regular? A place where you know the staff's name and the staff knows you? A place where you have meetings on a regular basis? This hangout spot can be so powerful. I mean, it's a great spot where you can impress some people. And again, just by the sheer knowledge of knowing people there and knowing regulars, yeah, you could definitely get some business from those regulars, the staff, and it's also just a great consistent setting to meet people at and to show value to that establishment. Maybe there's a lunch spot you absolutely love. Why not make that your hub where you're always visible, where everyone gets to know you, where you're always promoting the place, pouring into it? Man, not only can you get referrals, you might be able to get a partnership from there. Maybe they would sponsor a future event you want to put on. Maybe they'd be the caterer for it. Sky is the limit if you start pouring into them, just like so many things we're talking about. Totem face 3, a service group. Philanthropy, charity, volunteer work, right? Groups dedicated to doing stuff like that. If that's something that's up your alley, definitely, please, please, please get involved in your community that way. So let's go on. Let's go on to totem number 4, community events. Now this one bears maybe getting specific with the definition. Let's talk about farmers markets. Let's talk about street fairs. Let's talk about festivals. Let's talk about public community events where everyone could come out. This is a great space for you to do some networking, to meet strangers in a shared setting where people are having a good time. Totem number 5. I call this book study. I think what I really want to say is self-improvement group. Are there any groups out there that are dedicated to improving themselves? Self-help type stuff. A lot of things we talk about here, new concepts, new ways to be a better version of yourself. Is there any organizations out there that exist? Is this up your alley? Should you consider building one? That's something we haven't even talked about. There's some of these totems you could will into existence if you need to. Just like that professional network satellite, you could build one for yourself. You could create a lot of these things if you so desire. Again, it's up to how you're wired, what you're all about. But a group dedicated to self-improvement can again be a powerful group of really go-getter type people that you'd want to be connecting with. This next totem face, sports group. Think of fan clubs, think of intramurals, things dedicated to sport. I think it's worth naming sports specifically because, wow, there is a sense of community in the world of sports. So do you have anything like that currently in your life? Maybe you're not into the actual participation in athletics, but maybe you're a die-hard sports fan of some team. Is there some sort of club you can find and be a part of? Faith-based groups, church groups, so on and so on. Are there faith-based groups that are up your alley that you're interested in? This isn't for everyone, I get that. If you're someone of faith and you go to church, are you satisfied with that? Or are you saying, how could I be more involved with church? Maybe it's a Bible study group, similar to that book study sort of self-improvement, right? Again, some overlap. Maybe it's being a volunteer. Maybe it's wanting to teach, in the youth groups. I did that for a couple of years. Maybe there's something else I'm not thinking of that you could be involved with that is a part of your personal faith. If it's important to you, again, where is there a community that you can be a part of that's doing something you care about, that you can build community in, that will result in business for you as a byproduct? Where are we at here? I think we've covered all but one of the totems. The last totem, I guess you could call it the catch-all totem. This is the hobby group totem face. The hobby groups. If I haven't covered it, think of it belonging here. If you have some really unique interest, is there something you could join to help find a like-minded group? I don't know, maybe it's axe throwing club, maybe it's brewery club, maybe it's the underwater basket knitting club. How can you, again, be it online or in person, how can you start finding people who share interests that you have? This is a likely group of people you're going to get along with, that you have a bond with, and if I haven't said it enough, all these involvements with like-minded people are great places to build relationships, and as a byproduct of that, get some business. So now it's time to take stock. There's the 8 totem faces you could, in theory, have as part of your own personal social totem. Again, I don't think it's the goal to have all 8 filled out unless you want to be a super involved rock star, and maybe you already are. Hats off to you if that's how you're wired. Now, maybe not all of us are going to have all 8, but it's nice to review and say, okay, I do love the sports and intramurals. I've always wanted to get involved with that, and I haven't. This blank section of the totem pole, I need to fill that in. I need to find a rec league. I need to start doing that. There's the homework we can set for ourselves. There's the lead gen we can go do, is saying, how do I add a totem face to what I currently have and diversify my involvements and meet more people? Good luck. And I think the next video is going to be our final school of thought. Hopefully we're giving you a ton of ideas, different ways to look at lead gen, ways to focus your energy. It is so valuable to have a plan, to articulate lead gen more specifically, and this last school of thought is going to give what I believe is, again, one of the remaining ways we get business in the first place. So, looking forward to you watching that one and giving you the full 5 schools of thought for your consideration.